This is your weekend market review for Friday, October 4th, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your weekend market review, Friday, October 4th, 2024. Hopefully you're having a great week. Interesting day to say the least. Some people are on it better than I. Got to give them credit where credit's due. I thought honestly the market would probably close nearer the lows, but kind of close in the upper range of today's action. It's interesting considering the jobs number. If you look at them as mostly government jobs added, seems like the manufacturing, not manufacturing, but the manufactured of data to make it look better than it is going into the election. Again, I just wish there was just truth everywhere, because then people can actually understand what's going on. It's pretty soft out there in the real economy, but it is what it is. Just got to be careful, got to be thoughtful. So knowing such, next week we have PPI, CPI. We got earnings starting next Friday with the big banks. It's October. A lot of people say Uptober, which is interesting. Again, the fear and greed is back at extreme greed. Just kind of looking at the psychology of this market. Again, I can't see how the Feds can really do much at this point. Again, if jobs are as strong as they say they are, because again, the interest rates and bonds got crushed on today. And that just kind of says to you, like, that whole 50 basis point cut basically got wiped out. But we know it was already priced in much more before that. But I don't know. Let's check everything out. Be prepared for next week, because again, I think you might see, I don't know. If you go look at the Stock Traders Almanac, it was pretty spot on last week. This week, on Monday, should be a bear. And then after that, like kind of going into Yom Kippur, we'll see what happens. So, new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link description below. If you're looking for help, want to follow, like, subscribe, check us out on the Twitter, posting a lot of stuff. Also, YouTube, like, subscribe, or whatever platform. Hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. You'll get live alerts when these drop, so I can help you out. If you're looking to chat, use the Calendly link in the description below. Love to help you out, whether it's investing, real estate, buy, sell, invest in real estate, whatever you need. Again, if you use our services, you get 2-for-1 real estate agents. Again, no cost to you. Again, it usually comes out of the buyer's agent commission. Never had anyone pay me out of pocket other than from the sellers. And if it's a seller referral, well, guess what? It's appreciated. Again, it was already baked into your commission. It's like when you go to Zillow. That was how I explain this. If you ever click on a real estate website, they see you're interested in a buying or selling a house. They send out a referral to their network, and they put you in touch with their best agent. Which again, their best agent. Be careful. I'd love to help you out. It's it's basically a service that I can also advise and recommend. And you have a great local agent in your area. I'd love to help you out. Again, you guys know me. You trust me. You believe in me. You know I'm looking out for your best interest. The people who have used our service before, 5-star, nothing but 5 stars. Again, because that's what we want to provide. Like every service, it matters. It absolutely matters to me. So turn profits into properties and passive income. Check out the website, tradingagent.com. Let's get into it. Not my LinkedIn. So this was interesting today because, again, we talked about how the 50 basis point rate cut, it's basically off the table. Right now, a quarter only, and then starting to stay. Again, I talked about more cuts coming because, again, from what I see in the economy, but if the jobs number, if they're going to manufacture them to make look better than they look, how can the Feds rationalize it? It's absolutely bonkers. How can you say, all right, we're going to start cutting rates, but jobs market's great and the economy's great? Someone's lying here, right? Bitcoin holding that 60,000 back trend. Okay, pretty good. So far, so good. It's like in a multi-day range here, but I'd be watching what happens at the 62.5. You get over that, maybe you can get back up towards the range highs. Again, it seems to be stuck in a range. Nature of the beast. Oil. So we've talked about geopolitical risk. Gotta suck for those folks who want inflation down, aka the Feds, because again, it's really hard for them. You can't control the price of oil other than through what? OPEC, which again, they actually announced today that they're underproducing because their suppliers are not producing out of certain countries. Well, then what else do you have problems with? You have geopolitical risk, right? Like the only way you really can get oil down is what? Demand destruction, slowing of the economy. Natty gas we talked about coming up into these range highs, holding up. I'd watch what happens around the 278. Again, I personally believe that the best time to buy it was when the market gets stomped out. You'll have opportunities to buy everything on massive discounts. You'll see it at some point. That's the nature of the beast. Dollar, been on fire. Talked about dollar volatility. It's hard to trust the market when the dollar is moving big, because the dollar doesn't move big unless what? There's crazy stuff going on. TLT, again, we talked about the 95s. You're welcome. If you sold into the Feds, you hedged your UBT, right, around whatever, 23, 24. All right, now I'd be watching down here around 94, 95. Again, I'm still hedged. On a small, I mean, again, I don't have as much as the position I had because I've been trying to buy into more shorts, certain things, but I'd be watching. Just keep it simple, stupid. Yeah, I forget sometimes I'll get multiple accounts where I keep things separated out. Stocks versus options versus covered call accounts. Yeah. The VIX, we've talked about it. Holding the range lows, bouncing. This to me was kind of a weird fake breakout with the yen. The one-day event. I don't think we're building a one-day event. I think we're building into a higher volatile market, meaning you're going to have to be a trader's market again. That's why I like the idea of shorting at these levels with defined risk. Now, every stock is different, but we'll get into the evidence and what we're seeing. VIVX seems to be holding up. We talk about it basing first. SPY, I mean, it was holding the 8 and 10 day all day. Again, another hammer. We've been in this tight range for 12 days. Watching the 20-day, watching that 565 plus. QQQ held up. Got to give it credit. Look what happened. Another doji. Again, we talk about jobs days being dojis. I mean, perfect dojis today on some of these things. It's like, wish it wasn't. Because again, if you look at the actual data and what it looked like early in the day, I mean, all the up volume was just nothing. It was just nothing. It's like, again, here's like the 10-minute Q. I was just watching this. Like, look at the open. All selling, and then they build it up and squeeze it at the end of the day. Okie dokie. IWM, doji held the 20-day. Talked about that earlier. Again, I mean, you know that I know this is, you know that I know that you know. You know, that, no. We talk about dojis, but honestly, to me, the data did not bring anything good to the market forecast. Again, market wants rate cuts. Market wants oil down. Be careful. DIA holding up. Gold chopping around. Yeah, looks all right. I mean, just 8-10 day. A lot of people anticipated a silver breakout today. Look at that damn wick. How nasty is that? Keep an eye on it. Again, miners have been lagging. Holding the 20-day. Again, I'm like biting my tongue on what to really say here. Again, I've seen this before. When the VIX spikes, miners get crushed. They're part of the markets. They throw the bail with the bathwater. Will they again? I mean, again, we'll see. Look at AEM, 20-day. Starting to break. Was it the 20 or the 50? I apologize. Did I misquote? I think it's the 50. Isn't it? Yeah, it's the 50. Interesting, right? Leading up, and now it's starting to lead down. Why is someone selling so aggressively? Like, why did they sell miners today on the pops? Newmont, again, the thing should be, it needs to get over these 50s, and it's just not. Pass. Looks like a head and shoulders top. Again, somebody knows something. That's always the thing, right? You don't know the why until the news comes out, and sometimes it's called buy the rumor, sell the news, and the market moves in certain directions before. So you just gotta be careful. Pass. Right, chopping around. All right, let's get into it. Taiwan Semi. This one had a big breakout. Novice gap trap. Now it's backfilling. I mean, I thought the 8 and 10 day would be pretty much good, but close at the high of the day. What can you say? Micron. This thing's been pooped since the earnings hits the 100-day, backs off. AMD holding up pretty strong. Again, I think they have some sort of meeting next week. Broke the downtrend. Other uptrends or other trends from previous. Again, I'm trying to think of like what's the ideal levels that I'd be watching for. Probably that gap around 177. NVDA again shorted more today. Doji. I mean, it looked like it was done. I mean, this is what's so crazy about the markets today. Like, look at this. Open. Like, oh, all volume sell. Wee. Let's rally. Okay. Squeeze. Shorts got squeezed at the end of the day. That's basically what it was. Nothing really you can say other than that. Just be careful. SMCI. There's some folks shorting this. I mean, it makes sense. Again, if they're going to get some more issues, I mean, there's tons of put buyers. You can't get over the 20-day. If they're going to be going into, and again, when you do a 10-for-1 split, you got to be careful now. Everyone has a ton more shares. Oh man, we'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens here. Be careful. Intel, again, I think this gets delisted at some point. It's acting like a stock that's going to get delisted. It gaps down, chops around, and then it pops, gives it back again. As long as it holds the 50-20 day, you're good. If not, be careful. Again, if you bought the stocks today, like we talked about in the 19s, you're feeling pretty good. Pop today, again, hammer, filled the gap. Worth a watch. Again, I think there are easiest shorts out there, but I mean, again, I could be wrong. Adobe, nothing all day. Like, Apple held the 20 day, 50 day, not much. Again, this looks like a huge bull trap there. Up, retest, fail. Again, we know the sale. I mean, I know that their sales are weak. It's just a matter of what the market's going to price in at some point. Amazon, we talked about dead cat bounce 20 day. Watching that. Meta holding up really damn well. Zuckerberg going full Republican. I mean, that's kind of what I'm hearing. Hence why the momentum. Embrace it. But again, I wish they would talk about what's going on in the North Carolina mountains and Tennessee mountains. It's crazy how quiet it is there. If this was any other part of the country, people would be going nuts and they would be talking about it. Watching it. Looks strong. CRM. Filled the gap. Not much you can say. I mean, I'm going to expand this to this top of this range here. I mean, you're coming into it. So far, so good if you're bullish. We talked about Google holding up in these 160s, looking for rejection. I mean, could it get to the 100-day 171s? Again, not really looking that strong. Mr. Softy. I think it's got nothing in it. 250-day chopping around. NDAQ, as I talked about, I think the Nasdaq has got pain for the future. Gaps up, closes at the lows. Again, I think nobody's going to be trading that exchange when they get into commodities and it becomes a commodity bull market, which it's looking already like it will be. MicroStrategy, back into the range. Keep an eye on it. Just be careful here. It's either going to go or it's going to slow. This has been resistance. Keep an eye on it. If it breaks out, congrats. If it doesn't, raise your stops. Raise your stops. Netflix, chopping around at range highs. Roblox, not really much to say about Netflix. I mean, I still can't believe people are buying it. We talked about this being a fake breakout, giving it all back up. Looks oversold near term. Looked like it got into this area and then wicked out. Again, it's just doing what Roblox does. It's kind of silly. PanW, again, we talked about this, a Pelosi favorite. Seems to be holding the trend lines and just kind of basing. I mean, this thing could be setting up for a huge move in time. Again, I'd like to see it at lows. Range lows. Good old Tesla. All right. People are seeing a lot of call options going in next week, holding the 20-day. We'll see. Again, you got to get over this 260s, 270 area. Just keep an eye on it. I personally don't really have an opinion on it. We'll see. Insight, like this company for a buyout at some point. Love to see it in the 50s. Good old plantar fasciitis. Everyone says it's a $1 trillion company. Man, again, if you had shorts, you get stopped out. Nature of the beast. Can't always be right. That's a nice 3-day move for them. Keep an eye on it. McDonald's. Da-da-da-da-da. Holding up above the breakout. Just, you'd like to see it get going. That's all I can really say if it's bullish. DKNG. Talked about this one being oversold at the 100-day. Not surprised. Backtesting the trend line. Nice little bounce. Worth a watch. Again, I think trash like this is the easiest shorts on pops too. Airbnb backing off after a pop, hits the resistance. Again, like not everything's down, right? Costco, I mean, people are going nuts. We talked about this candle being kind of a trap. Now you're at the 50-day. I mean, people are just loading up on toilet paper. We'll see how that lasts. Starbucks, again, we talked about this one being in a big chop zone. Not much to say. Post new CEO. Federal Express. I mean, this is not what you see in a strong economy. Big gap down, rallies back, and just looking like it's toast. Caterpillar holding up. Doji at the range highs. I mean, this is a tight action here. I mean, I don't know why. If the market holds up, I don't know why you wouldn't go into the 400s. Think of like the Livermore. If you get over 3, you get to like 330. If you get over 100, you get a 110. If you get to 400, you should get a 4s, low 4s. 420, bro. Deer. This is interesting because Deer's not following Caterpillar. Coming in range highs, backing off. It's worth a watch. Nucor, again, steel names. We like them long term. Like X in the 20s. Just watching VALE. This, I mean, again, a lot of these names just didn't play out today. Gap down. Look at this tiny range, just chopping. Arrow, I mean, just gapped up, gave it back. CCJ, now CCJ holding up really damn well. Uranium said tomorrow's doji. Yesterday's doji. Watch what happens. It looks like a doji sandwich and just screamed right back into the range highs. Again, congratulations if you own this one. Just watch these ranges. Ten cuidado. Again, we like ag long term basing here. CF is breaking out on light volume. How much higher can it go? Good question. And it's tough when like Mosaic and NTR really are not following. Right? They look like they're just stuck in neutral in the back. Keep an eye on them. They could catch up, or CF's going to pull back. AA, again, we love aluminum. Who doesn't love aluminum? I mean, you have to put it in everything. Aluminum foil, if you're wearing your aluminum foil hats. A lot of you, these conspiracy theorists out here, where it's like, man, everything seems to be kind of funky right now. And that's a whole nother topic. Financials, again, brutal. Going into bank earnings next week. You suckers. Again, I don't have any like near term too many worries, but again, if you have the stocks short, you're pretty good. I feel like you're in a good position, but if you got options, if you gotta bail on them, you gotta bail on them. JPMO bounces back up on XDIV to 50-day. Okay, keep an eye on that one. Morgan Stanley, this one's been chapping my, what do you call them? Chapping my chaps. This is one that I got stopped out of, and I'm just watching it. I'm like, oh, you son of a biscuit. We'll keep an eye on it. Bank of America. I mean, again, why did the financials rally? I don't know. People saying the economy's strong. Are higher interest rates going to be beneficial for banks? Near-term lending? Ooh. Bank of America, we talk about, I mean, Buffett is about to be less than 10% at this point. Goldman Sachs popped and chopped. Carry, not surprised. We talked about being oversold. There you go. But it's like a doji. I mean, it's just like they gap it up and they're like, don't want none of this. XHB, again, the housing. I mean, look at that. Yeah, higher interest rates. Duh. That's what that is right there. So congrats on that trade. Again, maybe the next time if you want to hedge bonds, you just short the housing index. Might be the trade right there, right? Solar, again, ever since TAN hit the 200-day, it's just kind of backing off. Sedge, not much on here. It's just dead. I think it's going to 15. ENPH, range high, range low, range high, range low. First Solar, we talked about this one trapping out with the 7 arrows. All right, watching this 228. HYG, again, corporate debt. I mean, you got to be crazy to be buying corporate debt. We talked about it. Slowly unwinding. Good old oil. Got to be chapping the fetties. Look at this. Just climbing the rope. Guys, they got to be losing their mind. UNG, again, I'm not a fan of this product. I think it sucks. Again, I like cold. We talked about taking profit. If you shorted up in the 80s, congrats. I think it makes sense now. Let it come on in. Come on in out of here. XOP, congrats if you've been long this. Now you're coming into resistance. We talked about it. Keep an eye on it. Decent volume down here. I mean, somebody knows something. Somebody knows something. I'm trying to think of like that Michael Jackson song. I don't know something. No, maybe it's not. I don't know. Shit. It's a long day. It's Friday. CVE again. I don't know why you wouldn't go back to the 20s. Valero gasoline names had a nice pop yesterday. Little slack today. Worth a watch. PC chopping around after a nice pop. ExxonMobil breaking out to all-time highs. It's looking like it. Again, it's looking bullish for oil. Occidental, we talked about this. I mean, I think long term you're going to be fine on this one. I'm glad it's catching up. Congrats. Grazie. Looking good. But again, just beware. It's all, I mean, again, geopolitical risk is definitely helping. EQT, natural gas names did not participate as much today. Gapped up, gave it back. Last but not least, Flex LNG. And then a little rant by yours truly. Again, I think we're natural gas exporters in time. These are big chop zones. So going into next week, please be careful. Be thoughtful. Again, the fear and greed index is back into extreme greed. Interest rates are going higher. That's got to be frustrating. The Feds, oil, geopolitical risk. I mean, it looks like they got the port issue fixed. We'll see. I mean, we got the election. It's going to be a wild couple weeks. Again, I think the risk is not to the upside. It's the downside. However, You do what you think is best. I will be wrong. You can be wrong. It's just about probabilities, and do the best you can. Have a great evening. I will see you guys next week or this weekend if you got questions. Peace in the Middle East. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.